Okay, time to wipe all this makeup off, take my hair down. Honestly, there's no greater feeling than coming home and taking your bra off. Okay, listen, I don't know how some women do it, where they can sleep in their bra, because that is the most uncomfortable shit I've ever had to do. And I've only done it like once, but it's not comfortable. I don't like it. But like taking your bra off is just like when you get to come home. And like, listen, this is not me like trying to say like you shouldn't keep wearing your masks, but when you get home and you take your mask off and you're like, I can breathe. That's how us women, most of us women, feel. There's not even much makeup on my face. I literally just did mascara, but I put like moisturizer and stuff on. I put so much mascara on today, but it got like kind of goopy earlier, so I had to fix it. Those are fireworks outside. I just sneezed all over myself. At least it wasn't anybody else. So my brother's friend, who's basically, let's just call him family, okay? So I went to his 4th of July barbecue with him and his husband, and they're both our family friends. So I love them both so much. And I'm leaving his place, and he like grabs my bag for me, and he's like, we're walking to the elevator, and he goes, "Oh, did you forget anything? Or do you have everything?" And I was like, "I guess." I was like, "It's not like I brought a man with me or anything, you know?" I was like, "Oh no," I was like, "It's not like I brought a boyfriend with me or anything." And he was like, he started laughing. I'm like, "No, it's so serious though." Like, I've always been the type of person, I don't like to rush relationships, because I feel like when you rush a relationship, you don't get to really understand who a person is. And I don't, call me whatever, make fun of me for whatever, but personally, I like to get to know somebody before I am in a relationship with them. And I guess it's different for other people. Unless it's someone that I know is gonna be like, that I already feel like I can have that close connection with, then maybe I wouldn't need to like take my time to get to know who they are. But I think that a lot of the time, like, I see a lot of people like jump into a relationship and they don't really understand or feel like they are getting anywhere because of how quickly everything is going. And I'm currently in the process of trying to find me a boyfriend, because I feel like I don't know, don't get me wrong, the single life is nice when you can kind of like be your own person, and you always are gonna be your own person, but like, you know, sharing that sort of like feeling with each other that you're in love and you got all these, you know, wonderful feelings going. But I think for me, the biggest thing is like being single sometimes I feel like gets to be too boring. And there's a lot of people in my life who are in relationships, and it kind of is hard when you see so many people, like couples. So I am trying to find my boyfriend, and it's not easy because I don't know people that will help me find them or find someone. This is the thing, I don't go out enough to the point where I can actually interact with the right people. I feel like that would have been different if I was like going out and doing things, but I don't really, I like to be adventurous. Like there's that, but I also feel like it's very much like the same thing. And I think it took me a while to really understand what getting out of my comfort zone looked like. I keep wiping my face because it feels so sticky. It was so hot today. But yeah, I don't know. I feel like that's like a major thing. As much as I'm searching for someone, I'm also not focusing all my time on it. Like, if I'm around people that I know can like be very adventurous and do different things, then I'll be like, oh, like, can you help me like meet new people? Or, you know, how can I like go out more? I want to go out more and do different things. And, you know, so it's really hard when you don't have, and don't get me wrong, like I obviously go out with my friends and we do stuff together, but it's kind of different because like we have our own thing that we do together, you know what I mean? Like there's each one of my friends and I do different things together. So like some would like to go try different foods, go on different adventures, you know, be very, very like, you know, take a risk with something. Whereas others are very like, I just want to be low key, like I want to just chill, I don't want to do anything too crazy. Some are just like, let's have a mixture of both. So it's very like mixed, you know? And it's like, I know the type of guy I'm looking for. It's just so weird. Like someone asked me tonight, he was like, oh, like what kind of, you know, what do you look for in a guy? And I was trying to tell him, and I kind of gave an example of what it is. And he was like, oh, okay, that makes a lot of sense. This collagen stuff is good for my lips because my lips get super dry. But yeah, I think like a major thing that I deal with too is like I've had a lot of crushes on people. I don't have a crush on anybody right now. But oh my god, these damn fireworks, shut up. No one cares. Okay, I need to let my hair down because truthfully, girl, I just want to be relaxed and comfortable. So anyways, I was saying, what was I saying? Damn it, what was I saying? Shit. I forgot what I was saying. But for me, I feel like I've always, about rejection and stuff. Okay, I remember now. But I've always, like, I've liked a lot of people before, and I've tried to make a move on certain, oh, this shit is hurting. And I've tried to make a move on people that I thought were cute or that I liked. And I was always faced with rejection, which you most of the time will be faced with rejection. It's just a part of, you know, exploring the type of people you like, telling people that you like, how you feel. This one hairpin does not want to come. Okay, there we go. You know, telling people how you feel. It's like those things can be hard and it's very scary because you never know what people's answers are gonna be. And I think that's something I think about a lot. Like when I start liking someone, it's like, oh, if I ask them out or if I tell them how I feel. Even reaching out to someone, like there's this one person I really wanted to reach out to, but I'm like, I was talking to one of my best friends about it and I was like, he's probably gonna be like, this is crazy. And she's like, I don't think so. I was like, I think so. But it's just the way my brain is like working because my brain is like, yeah, he probably will think you're crazy. Like he's probably like not waiting for you to reach out to him. You know what I'm saying? So like that's the way my brain functions when it comes to romantic things and just gestures when it comes to reaching out to people. I think it's hard for me because again, I've been faced with a lot of rejection. So it's kind of like in my brain now that like this person's not gonna want to talk to me. This person's gonna like ask me why I'm reaching out to them and all that stuff. And I think I have to try to get my mind out like off of that. But I think it also took me a while to realize that that's not my problem, you know? And like realizing that like I think it took me a while to realize that because for the longest I was blaming my disability for the reason as to why like certain guys didn't respond to my messages or why he didn't like me or whatever the case may be. And And I realized, like, it's probably not me. It's probably just they don't know how to, like, say no, or they don't know how to say yes to being, you know, going on a date or whatever. I don't think I've ever asked anybody out on a date. I've told someone I like them. I've told a couple people that I like them. If you guys want to hear about my crush stories and my love life, let me know in the comments. I think it's hard when you have a disability, for most people, that, like, you feel like you want to tell people how you feel. You want to say, hey, I like you, would you go on a date with me, or whatever. But it's like when you've been rejected many times, when people make you feel a certain type of way, you kind of say, well, never mind that. I don't want to deal with it. I don't want to have to do it. So I think for many years, like, especially during my teenage years, like, and I feel a lot of people that are teenagers go through this phase where, you know, they like people, they don't like people, they are going through their own sort of, like, patterns with mental health and other things that they might have going on. And so as a teenager, I didn't really realize that the way I was treating myself and, like, talking to myself, like, saying, oh, it's because of your disability, it's because you're blind, you know, I think that really messed me up internally. And I think it really shows me now, like, it did foreshadow a lot of things for me, because now I think I've learned how to fully say no. It's not because of your disability, it's because people have their own shit going on and maybe they don't know how to say no. And I've learned that I am beautiful and I am worth it. And if someone really does want to be with me, and if they really do feel the way I feel and they like me, then they're gonna say it. And if they don't want to say it, then it's like, you know, there's that thing where, like, once you start dating someone and someone, like, now wants to start telling you how they feel about you. I feel like that's the case too. Like, that can be the case too, where people are like, oh yeah, like, they wait a long time to let you know how they feel. But it's like, no, like, I know for me, like, there's some people that, like, I've liked before, and I never told them. Like I said, I think I only told one person that I had a crush on him. And I think it's interesting to see how people, like, they give you these signs that they're into you. They make you feel like they're like very much, like, having the same feelings for you, and then they just kind of say, nope, that was all. Oh my god, these damn fireworks. They're like, no, I don't really know about that. So it's weird for me, and I feel like I've taken a lot of time after having multiple crushes throughout college, throughout high school, just whatever, whenever. And I realize now that, like, I'm important, and I took a lot of time to really focus on myself and think about what I wanted, think about the guys that I was into. Because, you know, as you grow up, I feel like your interest and your standards and your feelings about certain people and, you know, attributes change. So as a teenager, I said, oh, like, I want this type of person. But I think even as a teenager, like, I knew the type of guy that I wanted to be with, you know? Like I said, this is the type of guy. And now that I'm in my 20s, it's still kind of the same. There's just some changes that have happened, just, like, you know, making some adjustments and saying, like, this is the type of person I want to be with, and, you know, things like that. But it's still a matter of, like, it's really hard for me sometimes to tell people how I feel. Like, I remember in college when I had a crush on this guy, and I kind of, like, hinted at it, and I asked for his number, and he was like, okay, and then he had a girlfriend. Because that's mostly the case sometimes. Like, I'll be interested in somebody, and when I start, like, actually gaining more confidence, to, like, talk to them and to reach out and to ask for their number or to tell them whatever, eventually they're gonna be like, oh, I have a girlfriend. So it's weird. I feel like finding people and connecting with people is always hard for me, just because, like, I want to go out more. I want to do more things. I like being adventurous, but I also like to be very low key. Like, I like being in my house. I like being in my bed. My bed is in the background, and it's like I'm so ready to, like, shut this camera off and crawl into bed. But it's interesting because I feel like I don't know. I feel like I can sometimes be really hard on myself when it comes to a lot of things, but especially in the love life realm. Um, but I kind of had to, like I said, train my mind to get out of that state, because I was very toxic towards myself. I would say you're not beautiful, you're not worth it, you're blind, like all these negative things. A lot of the time people will say, oh, if you like this person and you know that they like you, like, why don't you give it a chance? But I think I hold such a standard for the type of person I want to be with that it's kind of hard for me to say, like, yes, I want to date this person when I've already created this, like, image of the person that I want to be with, that I feel like is the right person for me in my mind. Like, it's hard to get myself to not think about that when I'm talking to certain people. But I just felt like sharing that just as I kind of went through this little nighttime routine, just because I feel like it's important. And I've never really spoke much about my love life on this channel. I think the beautiful thing about being single is that you get to kind of like figure out who you are. What do you want? What type of person do you want to be with? And I think the time that it's taken between the first guy I liked, I guess my first real crush, you can say, between that time till now, there's been a lot of growth, a lot of discovery, a lot of changes, a lot of friendships that I've lost just because of whatever drama, whatever was going on. A lot of just like, patterns changing, and noticing what I liked in myself, noticing what like I felt like needed to change. And I think at 23, I can say like I've definitely made a huge progress in who I am. And I think that there's a lot of people around me that see it too. I think when I'm interacting with people who I haven't seen in a long time, they'll be like, oh, like you've grown a lot. Like, a lot of people tell me that. They're like, you've grown so much. Like, you're not just, this person who has gone through so much, but you know what you want to do. You have an idea of the person that you want to like fully bloom into and become. But I think it's also like a matter of how you have conversations with people, how you connect with people, and they'll always point those things out. They're like, you have grown as a person, you have grown. And I think that's interesting when other people see how much you've grown and how much you've changed, and knowing that you've changed for the better, and knowing that there has been things along the way that have kind of like made you question a lot of the things you were doing for yourself. But knowing that there's people that are like, oh yeah, like I do see that change, I do see that growth in you, I do see how much you are passionate about things, I do see how much you really like think about yourself and think about how you want to do things. I can tell you, years, like even when I was 19, I wasn't the type of person that was like, oh yeah, let me, I always felt like I had something I had to do. Like, I have to be this person, I have to do this thing, I have to be busy, I always have to be busy. And now I'm like, I don't, because I can say no if I want to. And I think as a teenager and even well into my 20s, I didn't know how to say no. I didn't know how to say, no, I don't want to hang out. No, I don't feel like I want to go to that event. No, I'm not, I don't want to talk to this person. Like, it was none of that. Like, I always felt like I had to be a people pleaser. And I think that's the hardest thing about me and who I am as a person, is that I'm such a big people pleaser. And I'm always trying to do things out of the kindness of my heart for other people. And that's never going to change in terms of like me being kind to people. But I think the people pleasing part of it definitely has changed a lot. I think I've started to really see how I'm important just as much as those other people are important. I love hanging out with friends, I love going to things, but I also realize that like there's a time in your life where you have to prioritize yourself. You have to say, well, what is it that I need? What is it that I'm craving in my life? What is it that I need to work on? And I think it's hard when there's people who are very negative about those things, and I've dealt with some negative people, but knowing that you can, and knowing that you are making a change for yourself, it doesn't have to impact anybody else. It's not their business. It's about you and what you want and how you're sort of changing and advancing as a human being and as a person. So yeah, I think now I'm able to say, oh no, I don't feel like doing that, or making my own decisions, which can be hard because a lot of the time people will say like, oh, but like I want you to do this thing, or I want you to come to this party, or I want you to, and I think now noticing the power of saying no to people is something that I wish I knew like as a teenager, because as a teenager I wasn't very like, I would just say yes to everything, yes, let's hang out, yes, let's do whatever, let's yes to whatever. But I think now as you grow, you kind of say, oh, I don't like that. I don't want to always have to say yes to people. I don't want to have to give those people the advantage of me always saying yes to them. I want to say yes to myself for the first time, because in your 20s you go through a lot of phases, and I feel like that's something that no one ever prepares you for, is the amount of changes that you're going to go through, where sometimes you know what you want to do with your life, but then other days you're like, no, I don't know if this is right for me. And I think just in terms of the self-love, self-care portion of this, I feel like it's very much like you are kind of finally, and I think this is just from my personal experience, but I finally feel like I have been able to say yes to myself and realize what is important to me, and prioritize the things that are important to me, prioritize the people that are important to me, let go of the people that weren't right for me, let go of the people that were really toxic for my mental health and for just me, as a person. And I think that that's really hard to do sometimes when you are very, caring and loving towards someone, but really noticing the patterns that were like, oh, this is not, I don't like that. And I think everybody that's watching this will probably say, yeah, I get it. But until you kind of figure out the people in your life who are not really supportive, who are not really healthy for you, then you can finally say, oh yeah, like I understand that now. And I wish that like more people, like I wish I would have listened to more people when they said like, oh, that person is not like a good friend, or that person's not like, whatever. But I think you learn on your own timing, you grow on your own timing, you change on your own timing, and no one can really tell you how to do those things unless you really, really want that in your life. And that's like a major lesson I've learned over the past couple years. And I don't know, I feel like this was a good time to really share it. I'm just chilling at my house, I'm feeling cozy. But yeah, your girl's trying to find a man. That's the whole moral of the story. So I'm sorry I got so sidetracked, but I felt like it was a perfect moment for me to really go into this topic. And I really didn't even think about this topic as I was sitting down to film and go through my nighttime routine and tell you guys what I did today. That's kind of how I feel. And I think that, again, no one can really tell you who you should be unless you finally make the decision to be that person, until you come to the conclusion of, oh yes, this is who I want to be, this is who this is the thing I need to do. So yeah, these stupid fireworks are so freaking annoying and I hate them, but what are you gonna do? Thank you guys for watching. I know this was kind of like a short video. I didn't really film much for you today, but there is a cute little video coming out on, when do I post again? I think I wanted to do Tuesdays and Saturdays. So be sure to check out the fun video coming on Saturday. If you're new, be sure to subscribe and comment and like and share this video if it really resonated with you, because I really feel like most people out there, especially those in your 20s or 19-year-olds who are maybe going into their 20s, you could probably start relating to a lot of these topics. If you want to hear more videos, hear more topics like this, see more videos like this, let me know. Alright you guys, I'm gonna go chill out, watch me a movie, and I'll talk to you in the next video. Bye!